Hello there guys, and welcome back once again to Star Wars The Old Republic. Today, I thought that for a change, instead of playing on Levud and leveling him up, I thought today we would go on to Avooc, my level 34 Jedi Sage, who is currently on Narshada. And I thought that we would go on her, and I could talk to you guys somewhat about the backstory which I have for Avooc and Levud, and about some of my history with them. Star Wars games, multiplayer, MMOs, role-playing, and all that in general. Cause, well, I just want to keep you guys interested and just give you new content all the time, not always just watching me grinding, doing missions, and killing mobs and such. And wow, does my frame rate go low during the loading screen. I don't think you guys can see it, unless you're in like the developer thingy for YouTube. But right now it's at 2 FPS. Oh my. I guess that does make sense, because I mean, there's suddenly nothing going on the screen, but yeah. Anyways, today I thought we would talk about those things, like I said. So yeah, to get started with, I originally began playing MMOs with, well, I had played some before this one, but the original one that I consider myself as like my entrance to MMOs was Star Wars Galaxies. And now, for those of you who do not remember, Star Wars Galaxies was the original Star Wars MMO, and it was originally created by Sony Online Entertainment. So, Sony Online Entertainment. They created it in I believe 2003, but don't quote me on. No, it had to be like 2001, I think, but don't quote me on that. But yeah, so they created the game Star Wars Galaxies, set supposedly after the events in Episode 4 of Star Wars, but over time it progressed further forward until finally it was past Episode 6 at the end of the game's lifetime, when they finally shut it down, unfortunately. But so that's where I got started with, and that's where I first got my whole entrance into roleplay and such. So, now my original character was Avnik Navoo. Now, that name was, for the most part, generated by the game. Like, you know how you can press on the thingy and it'll give you a auto-generated name? Well, that's what I did, and then I took and edited some. I forget what it originally was, unfortunately, but I edited it to get a Avnik Navoo, and that was a human, white, blonde Jedi Knight in Star Wars Galaxies. But from there, I only ever got up to like level 11 out of 90 on him. Just because I guess I wasn't really much into the combat, and I was only in 6th grade, so yeah. But then about, a year later, I kind of came back to Star Wars Galaxies and started playing on the Entertainer class, which I thoroughly loved, and it was the best class you could possibly have to use to roleplay from. Not to roleplay as an entertainer always, but just to roleplay in general, because it just had the most customizability per se. But so that's what I went on to after I came back to Star Wars Galaxies, and I named her, because I played a female character in when I played the Entertainer, and I named her Avooc Avoo, just like this Avooc Avoo here. Yes, indeed. You used to be on Star Wars Galaxies, didn't you? Yes, you did. Whee! But yeah, good old Avooc. And so, Avooc was my original character. Well, sort of, but yeah. And So I had her on the Sunrunner galaxy, because like Star Wars Tour has, Star Wars Galaxy has multiple galaxies, had multiple galaxies. Had, unfortunately, because they got shut down. But, so I had Avooc. Now, Avooc originally was in some weird guild that I never participated in and never really did anything. And then, one day when I was just wandering around on Rory, RORI, I found this one really cool city that I was shopping in. What was its name? I forget its name. Something Heights. Something Heights. God, I can't remember. He'll probably hear about it in another episode later on. But so, I was there, and there was this one guy there, just shopping as well, I guess. So, we were both done shopping, I suppose. So we both went to the shuttle port, because and you could have your own cities in Star Wars Galaxies. And so we both went to the shuttle port there, and I guess we both happened to be going to the same main city on there, NPC city. And then from there, apparently we were both going to Theed on Naboo. And then from Theed on Naboo, it would appear that we were both going to this one city, Soleil-sur-Mer, which is French, but everybody in the city and guild were English speakers, but just use that for the roleplay purposes and such, the name, which is pretty interesting. But so we both apparently went to that same place, and we were both like, weren't you at that one place on Rory? And I was like, yeah, weren't you? Yeah. And I was like, do you live in this city? And he was like, yep. Do you? And I was like, no. And then he was like, well, have you ever heard of Corin? Corin was the name of the guild. I was like, no, I haven't. Tell me about it. And he was like, so we're a roleplay guild on Naboo, such and such. This is our city, Soleil-sur-Mer, and such and such. And so his name was Caper Power. And him and I became really great friends. He introduced me to Ireland de Soleil and tons of other amazing people. Hayek Ekon, Eliscus. And we all became great friends. I was in the guild. So many amazing fun things in that city. It was just like some of the best times I ever had in games or in life in general, I guess you could say. Such great people, so much great fun and time, so many great roleplay stories, until that whole guild and everything kind of fell apart after a while, just because of people leaving the game and such. And then I went to a Star Strider and started the guild Stars with some people, or well, I was one of the original members, didn't help found it per se, but joined as like one of the first 10 people or so. And so yeah, that's a basic brief history of my time on Star Wars Galaxies. But so I did a whole lot of role playing on there. And so now my original roleplay character was Avooc, and her story I'll tell you now. So Avooc was born to a family of moisture farmers on Tatooine, much similar to Luke Skywalker's story. Though he wasn't born, he was adopted, but that's a whole nother story. But so Avooc was born to a family of moisture farmers on Tatooine. But she never much liked that life. She always aspired to be a performer, to leave and go off and do greater things, see the galaxy and all of that. Which, at the age of 11 now, she did do that. She ran off to Mos Eisley, the hive of scum and villainy, as it's called by certain folk. And she went there, and while there, she found a teacher, whom the name of which I came up with passes by me, and I cannot remember it now, but she went there, found a teacher, and so this teacher, a female entertainer at the cantina, taught her all about dancing, performing, music, writing music, the arts, entertainment, everything in that whole industry, makeup, image design, everything. And so from there, Avooc learned learned the start of everything to all of that stuff. But then one day, that teacher, while Avooc was out working or something, that teacher was unfortunately killed by a group of thugs. And there's some other stuff that happened, but that's a bit graphic for on screen to talk about. But yeah, so Avooc's teacher was killed. Avooc found the body and was extremely saddened. So after that, Avooc went off to Alderaan to train some more, just make money, get away from Tatooine, all the sadness there. And yeah. So on Alderaan she learned and worked, found a lot of good friends and such, but then she decided to head off to new lands, to Naboo. And while on Naboo, Avooc found and became a member of SWTOR and Corran. Ooh. This is going to be bringing back so many great memories. But so Avooc went to Naboo and became a prominent citizen of SWTOR and of Corran. Helped with the government, ran a cantina there, the Swang Palms Cantina, and helped out with the Horn and Halo Cantina, which was located on the other corner of the town. The Swang Palms was a cantina there that had originally been built months and years before, but was abandoned, and Caper, her friend, gave her ownership of it to use and to run. And so Avooc renovated it and turned it into her own. And while in Corran, later on she decided to go on and create an entertainer academy as part of the guild, the CEA, Corran Entertainment Academy. And so she founded some museums and libraries to go along with it, just as kind of a entertainment university per se, academy, as she calls it. But then later on, her parents, she learned that something had happened to them. So she adventured back to Tatooine after avoiding it for many years and found that her old home had been destroyed, ransacked, and her entire family killed by a pack of Tusken Raiders, unfortunately. But there was a note from her cousin, Levud Chrewo. Now, Levud is a couple, 10 years older than Avooc, maybe 20. And Levud was a Jedi master during the Clone Wars, the end of the Clone Wars. And he went into hiding afterwards, and only came out of hiding after he found out about Avooc's family. And so Levud, wanting to help Avooc, went to Solayu with Avooc and became a citizen there as well, and just kept Avooc company and such. And so they became good friends. But then Avooc slowly learned over time Levud's dark past, because during the dark ages of the Empire, between episodes 3 and 4, Levud had turned to the dark side, sort of. He and his apprentice, Lu, not to lose knowledge, but to Levud's knowledge, Levud tried to learn the dark side and secretly practice those arts in an attempt to kill the Empire and destroy the Empire. Unsuccessfully, as we all know, since episode 4, 5, and 6 happened. But, so yeah, he attempted that. Many bad things. But, so yeah. And then Avooc helped Levud through all that. Levud relapsed many times back to the dark side while living in Soleu. Avooc always bailed him out, of course, because they were best friends as well as cousins. But yeah. So from there, Avooc decided to become a Jedi healer, Jedi Knight, under Levud. And so Levud taught Avooc part of the ways of the Force, but then Avooc kind of went off on her own, and it was actually great timing when Avooc became full Jedi Knight and healer, because that was at the same time when Levud fell the farthest ever back into the dark side and nearly destroyed everything that both he and Avooc loved and had. But so Avooc saved him again, which was very good. And from there, they went their own ways for a while. Avooc went on to join a new guild, Stars, and then later on, Cell. And right. And so she still had the Corrin Entertainment Academy, but since Corrin and Soleu kind of died out, she started the new group with some other entertainer friends of hers, and from there did many great things, hosted many amazing events in the galaxy, and such. But as things happen now, since Stars Galaxies is over, we don't know what happens, unfortunately. But Star Wars Tour exists now, and since that it is the only place we can roleplay, here we are watching Avooc back in 3,000 years before all of that. Which makes perfect sense. I don't really know how to explain it in her whole roleplay story. Maybe we could say that this is Avooc's ancient relative, and they just happen to be related and all that, but who knows. That's a great photo. Let me try to take one, the hollow camera. Okay. Sure. But so yeah, that is the story of Avooc and Levud. Now, I was writing a book series of my stories of them, but a slightly different story than what I told you, what I did in the game. But, that's partly because, well, yeah, that was the roleplay in the game, not something that you would be able to write as like a book per se. But I might start writing those again. I probably will at some point in the near future, just for fun. Maybe to post and get some... Are these microphones? I believe so, and these are speakers. Interesting. Those are weird. I like them, but not. But yes. Interesting. But so yeah, I might start writing those again. If I do, I'll let you guys know. You guys can all read them and all that. And so yeah, that is all for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed my long, drawn-out story and enjoyed just watching me wander around with Avooc, look at the scenery on the beautiful world of Nar Shaddaa, the Hutt-ruled world, full of crime and villainy and scum, but also beautiful casinos and cantinas and whatnot. Yeah. Thank you guys for sticking with me and watching. Hope you all enjoyed the story. Let me know in the comments what you thought of it. If if you have any ideas for future stories for Avooc or Levud and whatnot. And yeah, thank you for watching once again. I am Price, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.